Good morning, children. Let us start with a new lesson here. How do bees make honey? You have seen the bees. Some buildings and all, some trees here. You see the beehive. How nicely it will be hanging, isn't it? And so many bees will be there, So those bees, what they do, they collect the nectar from the flowers and they bring and store it in the beehive. And what happens? They store it there, and whenever it is required, they'll be using it. Understood? So that is called as the beehive. So this is the beehive. You can see here. See how it is constructed. Now, how do bees make honey? Preparatory activity. Look at the following pictures and their descriptions. Match them. Draw lines. By drawing lines, you have to do it in your textbook. You can do. So what is this? This is a honey bee. You can see this is a honey bee, and this is how they are making honey. So honey making in the boxes. Nowadays they wrap that in the boxes. And then this is a honeycomb. See, can you see the structure? How nice it is now? Can see it. This is only honeycomb. See how neatly it is done. Okay. This is honeycomb, and then this is the beehive. This is beehive. Okay. Now, let's read the lesson on honey making. While reading and find answers for the following questions. What is honey used for? Second question, where do bees collect nectar from? Okay. So now let us start. Honey is the oldest sweet used by people. It is a natural sugar made by bees. It contains sugar, proteins, iron and calcium. We can digest honey very easily. It calms a cough and soothes a sore throat. It is also known for its ability to kill bacteria. Let us now learn about making honey. Honey making is not very simple. Honey bees start the honey making process by visiting flowers and collecting nectar. They gather nectar in the spring when most flowers and plants are in bloom. They use their long tube-like tongues to suck the nectar out of the flowers. So you can see the flowers are there, and see here how nicely it puts its sting into that and it sucks the nectar. They store the nectar in their stomachs. Honey sac. In their stomach there is a honey sac. In that they store this nectar and carry it to the beehive. While inside the bee's stomach for about half an hour, the nectar mixes with the proteins and enzymes produced by the bees. Then finally we will see, next page we will see. So here what happened? Honey is the oldest sweet used by people. So sweet. Earlier there was no sugar, no jaggery, nothing. What they were doing? The early men, they used to collect directly honey from the beehives, and then they used to use that as a sugar. So it was sweet to taste. Have you tasted honey? Yes, it is sweet to taste. It is a natural sugar made by bees. So it's not processed in factories or industries. It is directly prepared by whom? Naturally it is prepared by the honey bees. It contains sugar. So what does this honey consist of? See, nobody has prepared, but it is naturally prepared by the honey bees. So it contains sugar, proteins, iron and calcium. So it is consisting of all these things. Sugar, proteins, iron and calcium. They are all minerals. We can digest honey very easily. Yes, why? Because it is in liquid form, So easily it can be digested in our body. It calms a cough and soothes a sore throat. It calms a cough. When you have got cough, normally what they do, they give a little amount of honey and they tell you to just take it inside the throat. Isn't it? Slowly you will have to swallow. So what happens? If there is any cough, it will be reduced. And then sore throat. If there is irritation in the throat, like what you call it, a scratching sensation, if you have irritation, that time also they say you take little honey, so that sore throat also will be cleared. It is also known for its ability to kill bacteria. So it has got that ability. Like antiseptic cream, this also has got a ability to kill bacteria. Let us now learn about making honey. So how is this honey made? Honey making is not very simple. It is not at all simple. Honeybees start the honey making process by visiting flowers and collecting nectar. So how this honey is prepared? What do the bees do? These bees go from one flower to the other flower. The matured flowers will be there, no? Means which is already grown. Those flowers will have a type of juice inside. Sweet juice will be there. That sweet juice we call it as the nectar. Okay. So what do the honey bees do? They get the smell of that honey, this nectar, and brightness of the flowers. Look at the brightness of the flowers and the smell of the nectar. What is the honeybees do? From that flower to this flower, it goes on flying, and it goes on collecting the nectar from the sting. What it is having, there is a sting, from the tube-like structure. It is a tube-like structure. From that tube-like structure, what does it do? It is going on sucking the nectar, that sweet juice from the flowers. See, they gather nectar in the, okay, here. Honeybees start the honey making process by visiting flowers and collecting nectar. So they collect the nectar, that sweet juice I said, that is called as nectar. They gather nectar in the spring when most flowers and plants are in bloom. When do they collect this nectar? So during some seasons you can see spring, this one, what happens? These flowers will be in full bloom. That time what happens? There will be, I told you already, matured flowers. So they will have more amount of juice in that, in the flowers. So they gather nectar in the spring, especially in the spring season only, these flowers will start blooming. When most flowers and plants are in bloom, they use their long tube-like tongues, we call that as tube-like structure, so it's called as tongue, to suck the nectar out of the flowers. What do? They suck the nectar out from that flowers. So you can see, this is the honeybee, how it is taking the nectar from the flower. They store the nectar in their stomachs. And what do? After taking that nectar, they store it in their stomachs. They have got special sacs in their body, like a chila, There's a bag, special bag that is called as honey sacs. And carry it to the beehive. And from there, what do? They carry it to the beehive. While inside the bee's stomach for about half an hour, so this nectar will be in bee's stomach, isn't it? So for half an hour it will be there in the honey sac of the stomach. The nectar mixes with the proteins. So when it is in the stomach, what happens? Is mixing with the proteins and enzymes produced by the bees. So it is going to mix with the enzymes and proteins produced in the body. The nectar is thus converted into honey. So what happens? That nectar, which is that sweet juice from the flowers, is connected into honey, converted into honey. The bees then drop the honey into the honeycombs. That is honeycomb, I already shown you. It is nothing but the hexagonal cells made of wax produced by the bees. So this is wax actually. So it is made up of wax by bees only. Nobody is doing it. It's done by bees. The bees repeat the process until the combs are full. So they go on filling all this honeycomb-like structures. They fill it, and then when it is full only, that will be used. See, nectar means a sweet fluid produced by flowers and made into honey by bees. When it is done, when it reaches to the honey sacs of the stomach of bees. In bloom, with the flowers fully open, honey sac, also called honey stomach, hive, beehive, a structure wherein bees live and make honey. Enzyme is a chemical substance that is produced. So this is the honeycomb. To prepare for long-term storage, the bees fan their wings to evaporate and thicken the honey. Note, nectar has 80% water and honey has only about 14 to 18% water. So here you see, note, nectar means the flower has got juice, I told you the matured flowers. That is 80% water. But when it is coming to honey, how much percentage water it is? It is 14 to 18%. That means that much it is condensed. When this is done, the bee's cap the honeycomb with wax and move on to the next empty comb. So in a nutshell, the honey we eat is nectar that honeybees have collected, regurgitated and dehydrated to enhance its nutritional properties. So what happens children? See, once that is put in one comb, one hexagonal shape, what happens once that is filled, they just cover it. They cover it and then go for the next comb. So this hexagonal shape now, so they fully everything together, they don't put in all the combs. From one, see it's like house like. From one house to the next house, it goes on. Once this is filled, then it will go to the neighboring one. Then it will go to the like that, it will be totally filled. Did you understand? Yes. Okay, now see here, fan. Fan, make air move around. Fan here means make air move round. Evaporate, turn from liquid into vapor. Honeycomb, a block of wax full of six-sided holes in which bees store honey. Hexagonal, having six sides. Wax, smooth substance made by bees to seal the honey-filled cells. See, wax, smooth substance made by bees to seal the honey-filled cells. Honeybees are divided as house bees and held bees. House bees and held bees. Two types of bees are there. Then here see house bees and field bees. See here honeybees are divided as house bees and field bees. House bees means what? See, they come and construct their comb wherever the place, especially in the roof, thatched roofs and all, you can see there on the roof or ceilings. You can see especially in big buildings and on the trees also. So that is called as house bees, which is done in the house on the ceiling part, that is called as house bees. And field bees means directly it is done on the field. And nowadays they are culturing this in the houses, in the boxes. In the boxes they are making this honey. So the house bees keep the houses clean and well ventilated. So they keep the houses clean and well ventilated. They build new combs to store honey. They build new combs will be built and always they go on storing honey into that. Field bees are older bees. They go away from the house. So field bees means what? They are already old. They are already old. So they go away from the house. They will not be in the house. They will go away from the house. House means not inside the house. It is on the ceilings. Wherever there is place, they just construct the house there. Their jobs is to search for nectar. So what is their work? This older bees work to search for the nectar. They go on fields. Why? Because flowers will be there, Flowers will be growing more in the field. So they go and collect the nectar from those flowers. Here see, you can see regurgitate. How to pronounce that? Regurgitate. Okay. Bring food that you have already swallowed back into your mouth. You have seen some animals, especially these cows. You see, they eat the grass. Now after eating grass, what do? They go and sit in one place. And you see again, they bring that food outside and they will be chewing. Have you observed it? Chewing the cud we call. Which has gone inside will come out and again they will be chewing. So that is called as regurgitate. Understood? So bring food that you have already swallowed back into your mouth. Dehydrate means remove the water from something. Remove water from something. Draining. So dehydrating. Ventilate, admit fresh air. So ventilate, normal in the houses also you can see, other than windows they put ventilator on the top, especially in kitchens and all you can see. There will be a small window like structure, that is called as ventilator. So ventilate means admit fresh air. Honeybees do not live long. See, they don't have long life. At the time of honey gathering season, they work very hard. During honey gathering season, especially in the spring seasonally, that time more flowers will start blooming. So during that time they have got hard work to do. They will do more and more work. Why? Once the season gets over, they don't get proper nectar. So they do hard work during honey gathering season or spring season. As a result, a honeybee does not live longer than a month. See, the lifespan of honeybees, it's more, maximum 1 month, not more than a month. Around 2000 bees die every day in a honey making hive. Around how many? 2000 bees die every day in a honey making hive. You have seen that bee hive, you have seen so many there. You cannot count 1, 2, 3, 4, you cannot count. But approximately they have told that around 2000 bees die every day in a honey making hive, because we can see them falling down. Wherever there are honey bees, you can see the bees which is dead will be falling down. The queen bee lays eggs and she maintains the population of the hive. So who lays the eggs? The queen bee. The queen bee lays eggs and she maintains the population of the hive. She goes on what? Going on producing more and more honey bees. That's the work of the queen. So that what happens? If the bees are dead, it has to be replaced by new bees. Understood? So that's the end of the lesson. I'll stop it here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.